7 p.m. on the dot. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings and welcome to today's edition of the English newscast on Info Television. Our top stories. Yaoundé city dwellers are voicing out their concerns as portable drinking water becomes hard to find in some neighborhoods, and some individuals have resorted to alternative sources aside pipe-borne water. And Cameroon joins the world this November 17, 2025 to observe the International Students' Day, a day designed with a special focus on ensuring education is available for all students. Those were our headlines, details in a jiffy. Welcome back. Some citizens in the nation's capital, Yaoundé, still face challenging in having access to portable drinking water. Others have left from pipe-borne water to the consumption of borehole water, as they believe it is very, very safer. Their reactions were compiled in the following report. Unsafe drinking water is becoming a cause for concern, and worried citizens in Yaoundé are gradually losing confidence in tap water. According to them, it is no longer as clean as before.
Most of the times when it's not raining, we drink source water because at least it's a little bit close to us. And even the forage water that is around here, some of them are not really clean. Yeah, so for me, I really prefer to drink source water, but when there's rain, we'll prefer to drink mineral. Some households and other individuals rely on borehole water and call on authorities concerned to make available clean water in different areas. No, all what we need is clean water. That's all I can say. Yes, all what we need is clean water. Yes, so that will be good for health. Yes, because clean water matters a lot, especially for good health. However, Cameroon's national strategies aims for a 100% urban water access by 2030. As Cameroon prepares to vote on its 2026 budget, the government is prioritizing initiatives aimed at improving the living conditions of all citizens. In the following report, Agnes Ayok spoke with an economist and put together the following. Let's watch.
The government of Cameroon has highlighted several key priorities aimed at enhancing the living conditions of its citizens as she prepares to vote the 2026 budget. These initiatives reflect a commitment to social development, economic growth, and infrastructural improvement, with an overarching goal of fostering a better quality of life for all Cameroonians. According to some economists, improving healthcare services is a priority to be outlined.
The Cameroon government needs to improve on the medical care facilities, the healthcare facilities. The government can do it in such a way that they will open up healthcare facilities in almost all localities in the country, or any community with maybe more than 300 citizens deserve to have a healthcare facility. This way they will as well help to improve on reduce the death rate in the country.
A critical aspect of the 2026 budget is the allocation of funds for infrastructural projects. The government plans to enhance transportation networks, a situation which economists say will facilitate trade and accessibility.
Improving on the transport and communication network, you realize that the roads will be improved, reducing accident, and movement can as well be very easy. Food stuff can leave one community to another. This will as well improve on the standard of living of the people and the living condition.
Additionally, investments in energy is a call for concern.
The government should also try to improve on the pipe-borne water and electricity, of course. So we don't have stable electricity in Cameroon. So the government should also improve on the electricity in the country.
Recognizing the importance of education for national development, the government has earmarked resources for improving access to quality education, a sector where economists advise that emphasis should be laid on professional and technical education.
And on to this information coming from the Ministry of Trade, which reads, Yaoundé, 17 November 2025, press release. The Minister of Trade, Luc Magloire Mbarga Tangana, is pleased to inform the general public of the launch from 18 November 2025 to 10 January 2026 of a new promotional consumer goods sale operation on the 20th May Boulevard for the city of Yaoundé and its environs. The campaign extends to all regions of the country, including the rural hinterland, through mobile caravans. The Minister of Trade therefore encourages consumers to take full advantage of this initiative. Signed, Minister of Trade Luc Magloire Mbarga Tangana. And on to this story, the Bonamoussadi market in Douala is soon to be modernized. A group of companies have been selected to carry out the project in the near future, as you tell us in this report, Mimi Tiobo.
Good news for the traders of the Bonamoussadi market. The commercial space, with an area of approximately 3 hectares, will be modernized. Office, counter, shops, business and leisure centers built on the international standard will emerge on the land in a few months. The information was made public on November 13, 2025 in Yaoundé during the signing of the amphitheater lease contract between the Mission for the Development and Equipment of Urban and Rural Land, owners of land titles 26,326, and its partners, the group of companies made up of GIF Avconvern, and the General Company for the Design and Construction of Public Works, selected from the long list of applicants having submitted during the international call for applications launch.
La Maïture est propriétaire d'un patrimoine de 3 hectares dans la ville de Douala.
Amilitu owns a 3 hectares estate in the city of Douala, and she proposes to develop it. And this development consists of building a modern commercial complex. Commercials with the size of the site. The group that is our partners is in fact so entitled that will contribute with us to the construction of this commercial complex. The group of companies is responsible for the development of the site and the management for a period of 19 years. Being at the head of a project worth 25 billion, you can understand that I'm very happy. With God's blessing and the support of the management, we are sure we will bring the project to a successful end. The Director General is concerned about the welfare of traders. He insisted that traders be sensitized, relocated before construction begins. You've seen, we have practically 3 months to work. The signing of this partnership contract is a decisive turning point in the materialization of this project, which accompanied the numerous wishes of the President of the Republic, namely the modernization of commercial infrastructures, the creation of jobs, and the development of local businesses. It's about 3 hectares, right in front of the Douala Fit District Town Hall. And we are going to build a VIP shopping center on it. That is to say, stairs, escalators, central air conditioning, video surveillance 24 hours a day. In short, everything you've seen in Western setting. So Mr. Director General decided to bring this to life in Cameroon and specifically in Bonamoussadi. Before the launch of the work itself, the traders of the Bonamoussadi market, temporarily installed, will be made aware of the importance of the project on this one hand, and the other hand, they will be invited to facilitate the project of the work. The development of the site will contribute not only to cleanliness, but also to promoting the image of Cameroon.
And tension ran high at Tradex Bastos in Yaoundé this November 17, 2025, as dozens of angry Cameroonians stormed the headquarters of the Level Up organization. The protesters are demanding justice, accusing company's promoter of embezzling over 100 million CFA francs intended for travel arrangements, which never materialized. Jessica Ndiwum completes that story.
Around the neighborhood of Tradex Bastos in the capital's second municipality in Yaoundé, the morning seemed quiet and ordinary. But stepping inside the building revealed a different scene. Dozens of protesters demanding justice hid their faces from cameras as they recounted to N4 TV team how they had been defrauded by the Level Up organization. I was stunned when I saw I had already paid 2.5 million. The contract clearly stated that a trip to Switzerland required 5 million francs CFA to be paid in 2 installments, 2.5 million as an advance and the balance upon obtaining the visa. Since April, we have been asking for Giselle. She promised the process would take 6 months. Instead, we ended up with fake embassy appointments and fake documents. I don't even have those appointments in my system. This whole thing feels like being in prison. They later blamed everything on a CV legalization issue. The alert about the incident has quickly been spread online through social media posts, drawing attention to the growing public outrage. I am the mother of a victim. We reached out to Mrs. Leticia Fotsu online through TikTok after she spoke about a program she claimed to be running. The victims say they were reassured by the company's promoter, who promised that their travel arrangement will be fulfilled. In response to the mounting anger, swift action is reportedly on the way to address the situation.
On nous a fait comprendre que Mathias Ngué, qui est le promoteur de cette ONG, est
We were told that Matthias Ngué, the promoter of this NGO, personally came to meet Mrs. Leticia, the CEO of the NGO. She and her secretary reassured me that everything was legitimate, saying it was just a media scandal, targeting the NGO perspective. She insisted we had nothing to do with the online announcement, saying Matthias was being searched for. But after 8 months, nothing happened. Then she asked us to make additional payments to legalize documents, to meet agents for embassy interviews. They even made us pay for computer training. When we confronted her and asked for a refund, she claimed she was also a victim of fraud. I told her that was false because during the training, she gave clear instructions and her own sisters were involved in the procedures. Now, I see it was all planned from the beginning, a completely fabricated story.
Donc ça veut dire qu'elle a planifié son coup dès le départ. Elle savait que c'était une fausse histoire.
In their frustration, the protesters insist they have only one demand. We have already filed a complaint at the police station where she was taken. All we want is justice. We want our money back. The Level Up organization has remained silent, refusing to comment on the allegations. They have indicated that their legal team will issue a statement at the appropriate time. Meanwhile, we have learned that complaints have been filed at the 10th municipality of the Mfundi High Court for fraud. At the moment, the situation remains tense as authorities investigate, leaving both the victims and the public await justice.
And Cameroon joins the world this November 17 to observe the International Students' Day. While the day has as objective ensuring that education is available for all, Agnes Ayok in the following report looks at the efforts made by the Cameroon government so far to ensure that education is available for all students. Let's watch.
As Cameroon joins the rest of the international community to celebrate International Student Day this November 17, 2025, attention turns to the various initiatives and policies undertaken by the government to ensure students' training and education. What then are some of the efforts put in place by the government of Cameroon to ensure that students are better trained?
Government built many infrastructure. We can see the big classroom that we call amphitheater. We see that also connection is one tool we use students to make their research. We see also book space that we are called bibliothèque.
However, despite these challenges, significant limitations affect the effectiveness of students' training.
We have some problems. Some problems about the condition of life is not easy. Condition of life is it depends also from economy, general economy. The condition of our country is not easy. We have problem of poverty. Some parents are not rich.
On the part of the students, despite the efforts put in place to ensure quality education, this is not without some challenges.
My field study is very well. We do the lesson very well, but we are one problem. Sanitation is not good in my field study. Environment is.
The day is being celebrated under the theme, empowering students to be agents of change. While the government's efforts in student training continue to evolve, it is imperative to remain vigilant about the limitations that persist. Doing so will ensure that today's students are not only prepared for the challenges of tomorrow, but are also empowered to become the leaders of their communities.
A 20-year-old man in the person of Armstrong Chwete has been apprehended by the Douala Gendarmerie for allegedly kidnapping and murdering 2 persons, including a 12-year-old boy. The arrest marks a significant forge in the case. Mimi Tiobo.
The alleged assassin of the late Audrey Winger, 23-year-old, whose lifeless body was found in a building in the Koto neighborhood, and of a young 12-year-old student, Stefan Gimata, kidnapped and killed on the evening of November 13, 2025, has been apprehended. Armstrong Chwete, 20 years old, a resident of Douala and the alleged serial killer, was arrested on November 15 by the commander of the Douala 3 Gendarmerie Company, Yves Robert Owona Owomo, thanks to a brilliant investigation strategy coordinated by Colonel Jean-Pierre Otolu, commander of the Littoral Gendarmerie.
Le 13 novembre 2025, le colonel commandant la Légion de Gendarmerie du Littoral
November 13, 2025, the colonel commander, the Littoral Region Gendarmerie, sent us an image of a student who has been kidnapped and whose lifeless body was found in the rubble of an abandoned building, probably due to the non-payment of ransom to the kidnappers. The investigation led us to arrest one Sombok Armstrong, who is none other than the victim's cousin. During the search of the suspect, we found an isolated SIM card. When we exploited it, we realized it wasn't registered in his name, and the SIM card was used to send a ransom demand message. It also linked us to another case we already had, that of Winger Audrey, a 23-year-old woman whose lifeless body was found in Koto.
Âgée de 23 ans, dont le corps sans vie avait été trouvé à Koto.
During the interrogation, the suspect operation method was revealed. He lured his victims, kidnapped them, demanded ransom, and killed them when parents refused to pay. According to his confession, he has already claimed 2 victims. The National Gendarmerie has expressed determination to protect the lives of citizens and effectively combat serious crimes.
This
is the place for us here to offer some advice. Avoid going to meetings with strangers. Avoid lending your phones to friends or even strangers. Report the presence of any suspicious person in your neighborhood. To parents, avoid bringing unrecommended friends into your homes. We ask the population to always call our green number 113.
Le 113.
After presenting the suspect to the press on November 15, he will face justice at the Bonanjo High Court.
Away from that, the sum of 50 million CFA francs has been raised for regional election campaign in the Sanaga Maritime Division of the Littoral region. This was during a meeting on November 16 in Edea, chaired by the head of the CPDM Permanent Divisional Delegation for the Sanaga Maritime in the person of Jean-Ernest Massinangale Bibehe. Jude Kenji reports.
For a provisional budget of 63 million, approximately 50 million CFA francs in cash were mobilized this November 16, 2025 by Jean-Ernest Massinangale Bibehe, Minister of Transport and also head of the Permanent Divisional Delegation of the Central Committee of the CPDM in the Sanaga Maritime for the organization of the campaign for the election of regional councillors. The mobilization operation that took place during a working session that essentially brought together members of the political electoral body and the traditional command. This day corresponds to the launch of the regional campaign. If in Sanaga Maritime today we have a comfortable result, we must not rest on our laurels, because it is a question of going to recover the votes we lost in 2020. This is why we want to say thank you once again to our valuable elite of the Sanaga Maritime Division, who have once again demonstrated their attachment to the ideas of our party by bringing their financial contribution, which will allow us to cover all the costs inherent in this operation. We leave here satisfied, since the voters who are the regional councillors, municipal councillors and traditional command have assured us of their vote on the evening of November 30th.
Au soir du 30 novembre.
For effective coverage on the ground, the president of the local campaign committees and mission officers were installed. 15 candidates are unveiled and presented to the voters. Sanaga Maritime has a total of 642 voters spread across 11 subdivisions. It's about gathering our troops in battle in order to be able to get a 100% vote out of 30. The voters are known, and we think that they are all aware. We are confident that we will have an honorable vote this time. The working session that took place in the CPDM Party House in Edea sufficiently demonstrates the dynamism of the CPDM's Divisional Campaign Commission in Sanaga Maritime for a 100% vote for the single list presented. We are the only list, that of the CPDM, but nothing is guaranteed. We must respect the party's discipline. We must count on our comrades to respect the party's discipline, and all will be well. Before arriving, I can already reassured, but we just need to make the system work. With a single list, we cannot fail, but we want to avenge the affront the CPDM suffered in the presidential elections. The littoral was literally swept, and we want to try to avenge the affront with regional elections. That's why we need a score higher than 95%. The campaign runs from November 17 to 28. Few visits and meetings are planned. On November 29, the CPDM voters will gather in Edea for an electoral vigil. On November 30th, voting is scheduled from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. in the 2 polling stations set up within the premises of the Edea Balingo High School.
And still in the same light, the head of the CPDM Permanent Regional Delegation for the East Region, Joseph Lay, organized prayers on November 15 at the Betwa ceremonial ground. The objective of this gathering was to thank God for President Paul Biya's victory and continuous peace in Cameroon. Let's watch.
The event was convened by the Minister of Public Service and Administrative Reform, Joseph Lay, who also heads the Permanent Regional Delegation of the Central Committee of the CPDM for the East. We wanted to organize an ecumenical prayer. It was to give thanks to the Lord for the smooth conduct of the elections, and I believe I can tell you that these elections here in the East went off in excellent conditions. We didn't have a single incident apart from a flat tire on the road to Yokaduma. The Eucharistic celebration was led by His Lordship, Young Oscar Bishop of the Diocese of Dume and Bombang. During the service, prayers of recognition, gratitude, and intercession were offered to the Almighty. In his homily, Bishop Oscar invoked divine grace upon Cameroon and its President Paul Biya for imploring the Lord to guide and assist him in accomplishing his high office. Praying for peace, because peace is God's gift, yes. Saying no to what happened caused destruction and the way to peace. Let's say yes to peace, yes to peaceful coexistence, and yes to living together. The event also served as an interfaith gathering featuring a synergy of religious leaders. Attendees included Bishop Oscar, representatives of the ecclesiastical province of Betua, the Imam of the Betua Central Mosque, and pastors representing the Protestant community, a demonstration of the importance the local populations accord to peaceful coexistence and national unity. Yeah, exactly. Peace is key to living together in harmony. We gotta keep praying and working towards peace in Cameroon. Following the religious celebration, Minister Joseph Lay traveled to Manjo to assess firsthand the extensive damage caused by acts of vandalism. What we've just seen is simply indescribable. It's unspeakable. It's appalling. It's terrible. The damage we've just witnessed is something we've never experienced in the East. Since independence, we've never known anything like this. The damage is extremely significant, and we are realizing that it was something meticulously prepared and planned. They had precise targets.
Préparé et planifié.
On site, the head of the CPDM regional delegation visited several vandalized public institutions, including the Manjo Town Hall, the mayor's residence, the GO's office, the public security station, the office of Elekam, the Manjo Subdivisional Inspectorate of Basic Education. Confronted with the disaster, Minister Joseph Lee delivered a strong message to party militants and the local populations.
L'homme de l'Est et la femme de l'Est.
The people of the East are peace-loving folks. We want peace, and we think it's time it stops. Let's make sure this is the first and the last time. We need to organize so these kinds of protests, these kinds of disorders don't happen again. If we see something brewing, let's not stay quiet. We gotta inform the authorities ASAP so they can take action.
Les mesures idoines soient prises.
The minister concluded his activities with a visit to the Betua Regional Hospital to comfort a wounded first-grade peacekeeper. The officer was admitted after sustaining severe blows and injuries allegedly inflicted by thugs during the post-electoral crisis.
Campaigns for the upcoming regional elections have been launched in Fundi. This was during a meeting presided over this November 17, 2025 by Professor Laurent Serge Etundingwa, head of the CPDM Permanent Divisional Delegation from Fundi. Mimi Tiobo attended this gathering. Her reports.
The official launching of the campaign for regional councillors for Fundi took place on November 17, 2025 at the Fundi CPDM House. The ceremony was presided over by Professor Laurent Serge Etundingwa, head of the CPDM Permanent Divisional Delegation for Fundi, and saw the presence of Philip Balgaboa, a member of the CPDM Central Committee for Fundi, traditional rulers and CPDM militants.
We are dealing this time with regional election, and as you know, municipal councillors are the men who are casting their votes, and as far as Fundi is concerned, CPDM have all the municipal council of the town, and you also hear that there is another party which I don't want to pronounce the name, which is candidate here. They are hunting for our councillors, and our rule was to tell them that